What is going on, guys? My name is Sean Barnard, and today I'm here with ohbetting.com, here to do a sportsbook review for you. I'm here to take you through the registration process for DraftKings Sports in Ohio, take you through a bit of the pros and cons of the interface, the app itself, and the sportsbook as a whole, as well as breakdown to make sure that you guys are getting the best experience and know everything you need to know before kicking off your betting experience. Before I dive fully into it, I do want to make sure to set a reminder that you guys should check out ohbetting.com. You can get a similar breakdown to what I'm doing, more in depth in a written form on an article on the website, as well as they make sure that you can cash in on the best possible promo codes and set yourself for the best possible experience when it comes to coding your account with some extra funds and everything else that it kind of opened the door for. So I'm going to dive more into that later, but for now, let's dive through the process. So today I'm going to be talking about DraftKings. I'm going to share my screen and pull up what it looks like here. We're going to take a look at the interface. So this is what you see when you log on to DraftKings.com. DraftKings has been legal in the state of Ohio since January 1st, 2023. So a little bit new to the game there, but still one of the leaders in the marketplace as far as sports betting go. We know that they kind of opened the can of worms by experiencing and growing as one of the major players in daily fantasy sports and have gradually grown into the powerhouse sportsbook they've become. So they are known for the black and green interface, is what they are traditionally accustomed to. This is what the screen that you're going to look at when you get to the app. To create an account, you're going to click that sign up button right here at the top. And that will take you to this screen here. You're going to have to create a unique email, username, password, set up a phone number. And this promo code, as I mentioned, that is an awesome way to make sure that you are cashing out and maximizing your profits and potential earnings on the app. The best way to do that is by logging on to ohbetting.com, which will make sure that you have access to the best possible promo codes, whether it be free bets starting off, an odds boost, whatever it may be. That is a great way to make sure that you are maximizing your potential earnings. So rather than investing your own money right away, which you generally will have to do regardless, that this way that you will have some free bets to play with or something to kind of get yourself started in the right direction. But I'm going to stop the sharing for now. I'm going to open it up and see what happens when you do log on and take you through a bit of the interface there. So you go through the login process. One of the complaints that DraftKings has got, and I will share my screen again so you can get a little bit of a view in this checking location. The geolocation can be a little finicky at times. There's been people that have complained about the ability to locate in a fast pace and making sure that you're having access in the right way. It is frustrating. Obviously, DraftKings has to check the geolocation, make sure you're within legal state boundaries when using the app. It is not just Ohio where DraftKings is legal. There's a number of states that also allow access, but for the sake of this, that you're of course within the Ohio borders while you can use it. It is frustrating when you know that you legally are within the borders and it doesn't quite pick it up generally. And I can speak from more experience to this on the mobile app rather than the online version, which is what I'm sharing my screen using with here. But generally, I assume it's the same principle. You shut it out, you turn it off, you log it back on, and it fixes itself. So it hasn't been a huge deal for me personally. I have not seen it, but I have seen complaints of that from other people. Now that you've created an account, you've logged in, we mentioned the promo code. The first thing that you're going to want to do before you can dive into the betting experience is to deposit money. So you go into the top right button and go to the deposit button here. The minimum deposit for DraftKings is only $5, so a lot cheaper than a number of sports books out there. It does set you up with selected amounts, 25, 50, 100, 250, or other. You can type whatever you want. And another advantage to DraftKings is the wide variety of payment options that they do offer. As far as deposit goes, you can put money in your account via online banking, a Visa, a MasterCard, a Discover, including Discover gift cards, American Express, as well as PayPal, a Play Plus card, an e-check, a Pay Near Me, which is, of course, you go to a location and it does end up in your account that way, as well as Venmo and cash at retail locations. And in the same breath, there are a lot of options for withdrawing money when you want to get your earnings back into your account. And you can get that through online banking, through PayPal, through a Play Plus card, an e-check, a debit card, a Venmo, a check, or a bank wire. The debit card specifically, I will say, is something that is very limited on some other sports books. That it is kind of a that's a good thing to have. That is not an option that is available everywhere. That typically it will not allow you to attach a card, which can be frustrating at times. So it is nice that DraftKings offers that. So now that we're logged up, we got some money in our account, we made our deposit. Let's take a look at the interface itself here. So for starters, you can scroll down the left side of the screen. Let me make it a tad bit bigger here. You scroll down the left side of the screen and you see all the options for sports. This is what I would argue is probably the biggest advantage when it comes to DraftKings is just the wide variety of things they offer. I mean, look at it. The first on the list is Academy Awards. If you want to bet that, Aussie rules football, baseball, basketball, boxing, cricket, cycling, darts, esports, football, golf, handball, hockey. It goes on and on the list. All the options for the main sports you want are going to be available, as well as a ton of niche options when we're talking about things like, handball, rugby, snooker. These are things that you're not going to get on your run-of-the-mill sports book that DraftKings does dive into a deeper pool when it comes to that. So that is the main thing there. But as far as selection goes, you also should keep in mind at the top here on DraftKings, there are constantly rotating promotions, and these are not promotions that you need access to a code. And as I mentioned, that login code and the welcome bonus is typically the best bang for the buck when it comes to a promo code. So make sure to check out ohbetting.com for the access to that. That's something that you want to make sure that you're doing as you create an account. But while you are in the run of the mill and cruising, getting your bets in, you should always be surveying up here that there's constantly rotating promotions. For example, college football, no sweat, same game parlays. So place any week 2 college football same game parlay and get your money back if it loses. Those type of promos, as well as one like this, a 25% profit boost on MLB. These are constantly rotating out of DraftKings. Another thing I would consider a massive advantage of the sportsbook itself is they do rotate those often, and they are worth capitalizing on. And if you do those on a regular basis, you do end up in the positives in the long run, that you can set yourself up with some extra security by getting those odds boosts and returns, as well as just kind of being able to take more swings at it, being able to take more attempts. That's what this is about. It's having fun, placing those wagers, getting to watch a game, sweat it out in the way that you want. So those are things to keep an eye on and constantly coming. We see with every NFL game, no sweat, same game parlay. Those are awesome. The same game parlay specifically is a huge part of DraftKings. Now let's dive into how to place a bet and how we do it ourselves. So let's dive into the football realm. It is NFL season, football coming up. Everyone very excited. Let's go to the NFL side of things. So Ohio. Scrolling down, we're looking for the Cleveland Browns here, and of course they got the Cincinnati Bengals. So not a pretty interesting matchup there. We know the uncertainty of Joe Burrow coming on with a calf injury. This game may be in the books by the time that you guys do see this video, but the point still stands, and I want to take you through the process. So we're going to click on this game there. We got the Bengals versus the Browns, an interesting matchup. We'll see what happens. I'm feeling confident about an upset. There's a ton of good stats floating out there about the how interconference rivals, the underdog is effective in week 1. I believe it is 34-15-1 since 2018, I believe it is. So I'm feeling confident about the Browns sticking that trend. So I'm going to take the +2 on the spread, give myself a little bit of wiggle room here, and then that would drop right to your bet slip right here on the right. And then you're just going to go in and type the amount that you want. So at -110 odds, I'm feeling confident at $22. So I'd place a bet 22 to win 42. And then you simply just click that place bet button here, and it'll go right through once you are logged in. Once that is the case, and you do see that, that will slide over to the My Bet section. So you can open that up and see the bets that you already have open and scroll through in that direction there. So that is an awesome way to do that. And I don't want to speak like it is just limited to just the basic bets. That is one of the advantages to DraftKings, is just as I mentioned with the wide variety of sports, that it's also fairly in-depth with the specific matchups. So for example, if I want to go back to the Bengals versus Browns, we can scroll through. That is just the general line. Obviously the spread, the total, and money line there. Browns +105 on the money line there. If I want to scroll down here, we have the touchdown odds for each of these players. So Nick Chubb for first touchdown at +500, last touchdown at +500, as well as anytime at -150. So if I want to go into the touchdown scores here directly, we can get these on both teams. Irv Smith Jr. at +290 for an anytime touchdown. Little intriguing there. So you can scroll through and get just about any player you could possibly want. You can dig down to the archives and drop a wager on Drew Sample to score an anytime touchdown at +1,000 if you're feeling that, or no touchdown score if you really think that there is no touchdown going to happen in the game, as well as 2+ touchdowns, some props there. And it goes to 3+ touchdowns as well. So if you think Nick Chubb's going to have an absolute day in week 1 at +1,400, Jamar Chase can't count it out. He's a likely candidate to get hot there. And the cool little parlays that are already pre-made here, to score and to win. So a Jamar Chase to score anytime and Cincinnati Bengals to win. That's a cool little combo there. So you can dive through and scroll through these options there. And some of them get pretty significant. Look at the payouts, like a Marquise Goodwin to score anytime and Cleveland Browns to win, +1,600, good payout there. So the touchdown props are very common. You can also jump into the quick hits. These are a little quick, short-term, scratch that itch, get the juices flowing. For example, opening kick to be a touchback. -255 for yes, +190 for no. Maybe I'm feeling really confident that there will be a return. And that's, of course, going to be decided right on the first kick of the game. That'll get you going right in the direction or not. And there are the more general props as far as things go when you look at the passing props. over 1.5 touchdowns, plus 114 for Deshaun Watson. A lot of pressure on him this year. Over 1.5 for Joe Burrow, minus 145. Maybe not as much pressure. Man just got paid, highest paid offensive player in the NFL right now. So shout out to him, as well as rushing and receiving props, defensive and special team props, the DK squares, which of course we're familiar with this, things that you play with your friends when you buy a little square in this. DraftKings has replicated a similar thing. So you kind of can predict the ending of the score and get things set up there. It's also broken down as well as quarters, halves, team props, which is the total point scored, total touchdown, things like that, game props. And here's some more pre-made parlays. But let's say I want to create my own. So I'm going to go into the same game parlay section here. As I mentioned, I'm rolling with the Browns. I'm going to throw their plus 1.5 point on the spread here at minus 105 odds. I think Nick Chubb's going to score a touchdown. And I also think Drew Sample. I'm going to get wild with this. Drew Sample. So that is plus 4,000 odds. If I would to drop $5 on that just to win 205, Drew Sample is a pretty out there pick. So I do understand the odds on this. But that would be 5 to win 205 there. And then I would simply click place bet, and that goes in there. Now, it is not just the short-term bets that you can wager on. There are, of course, futures that I would like to point out here. So let's go back to the NFL section here, and then we're going to scroll across to get to the futures button. So instead of just the games, if you want a bet that you can follow for the length of the season, this isn't just a short-term one and done, you win or you lose. This is something I want to follow through the length of the season. So let's go to make the playoffs, and we'll scroll down, and let's find the Cleveland Browns here. What are the odds for the Cleveland Browns to make the playoffs? Plus 115. So yes, you would simply click that. And of course, I want to clear the same game parlay out of here. And then a $20 bet for the Browns to make the playoffs, 20 to win 43 is an intriguing payout there. And it isn't just the futures for this. You can get more whether you think they're going to win the division, if they're going to come out, find a way to win that. This is a little intriguing. I think the Browns at plus 400 could have some value. As I mentioned, the uncertainty with the Bengals, with Joe Burrow, with the calf, who knows exactly what's going on there. I do like the Baltimore Ravens a lot this year, unfortunately for Cleveland fans, that I do think Baltimore has a chance to come out and make a strong impact this year at plus 235. So I don't know if this is a bet that I would strongly consider, but I do think the wild card is well within reach for the Browns. So something that you could jump on there. And just as the case, there are plenty of options when it comes to other sports. For the example, MLB, we'll hop over to here. You're going to scroll down, look for some options for what you want to wager on. In this case, MLB season winding down, getting to that playoff push. So, but still some action going on all over the place. Let's say I want to bet on the Cleveland Guardians tonight against the Angels. We know the Angels have kind of gone down the drain. They went all in at the deadline. They tried to build a team around Ohtani that could win, but now Ohtani's hurt. It's just not happening. So I don't feel good about the Angels winning this game. The Cleveland Guardians, 1.5 run favorites on the run line. The over-under set at 8.5 for the game and minus 130 on the money line. I'm just feeling the money line. So I'm going to be confident. I'll pay that extra minus 130 there. A little bit juiced on the number there, but it doesn't matter. A win is a win. I'm going to put 26 to win 46 there, and bang, you just click plus bet. So the same exact process there. So that is generally how it works. As I mentioned, there are a number of other just about whatever options that you could possibly want when it comes to what you want to wager on. That is one of the greatest advantages that I would say for DraftKings is just the wide variety. Overall, I will give DraftKings a very favorable grade when it comes to how effective it is as a sportsbook. They are one of the biggest players in the industry, and that is for a reason, that they are a program, a sports book, an organization, however you want to put it, that has it together, that they do know what they're doing. The welcome bonus and the promos, I will give them a 5 out of 5 for that. I think that is terrific value that they provide through that. And once again, make sure to check out ohbetting.com to make sure that you're capitalizing on the best possible options there. The payment options, I'll also give a 5 out of 5 for. I think it has everything that you could possibly need and makes it easy. The response time is terrific in terms of both withdrawal and deposit. Generally, I have experience using the bank account and the credit and debit card. That is pretty much immediate. You drop in your account and you're there to drop a wager. And they generally say it takes about 2 days for a withdrawal. Personally, it's always been quicker than that. That you put that withdrawal in. I'm sure it might vary if it is a more significant number. If there's something a little crazy with it, there could be complications. But in general, they typically outperform that response time by a massive margin. You have it just about as soon as possible. The Sportsbook app itself, I would also grade very favorably. I like the interface. I think it looks cool. It's smooth looking. It's pretty easy to navigate with all things, and just with how much is going on, it takes a little bit of just experience and learning where things are, how it functions, and everything that goes along with that. But DraftKings does make it easy, and I would grade it favorably with that. I also will give it an extremely positive review for its variety in features and customer support. That DraftKings does provide industry standard support. It is readily available, and that's the most important thing. and that the agents do have varying levels of expertise and experience in it, but there are a number of different ways, whether it be through the phone, through email, through live chat. So there are options there. And as I mentioned, just the variety and features that it has everything that you could possibly want. So overall, I will slap an extremely favorable grade on DraftKings. I do appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. I'll be back breaking down all these sportsbook on this channel, talking about all the available options for you. So make sure to tune into this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we will talk soon on another one. Peace.